In the early 1900s, a man named Abdul Wahid Yahya, a French Sufi philosopher, stumbled upon a metaphysical secret so profound that it could alter the very fabric of our understanding of existence. He called it the Seven Towers of Satan, a concept that intertwines the threads of Abrahamic beliefs with the rich tapestry of pre-Abrahamic folklore and fantasy. Imagine for a moment the weight of that revelation. 7 towers, each one a beacon of power, each one a gateway to secrets that could govern the lives of every human being on this planet. It's a tantalizing thought, isn't it? The idea that hidden within the earth, scattered across ancient lands, lie these monumental structures, pulsating with energy and knowledge that could reshape our reality. Fast forward to 1939 and we find ourselves amid the turmoil of World War II. The Germans, in their relentless pursuit of power, were actively searching for these towers. Can you picture it? Agents scouring the deserts of Sudan, the ruins of Syria, and the mountains of Turkestan, driven by the belief that these towers held the key to ultimate supremacy. It's a narrative that feels like it's been plucked from the pages of a gripping novel, yet it's rooted in the annals of history. The first location pinpointed by Yahya was Sudan, a land steeped in ancient civilization, a direct cousin to the Egyptians. It's a place where the sands whisper secrets of the past, and the very ground is imbued with the echoes of those who walked before us. The second location, Niger, isn't just a dot on the map. It's a realm rich with its own history and folklore. The third, Syria, conjures images of ancient Phoenicians and giants roaming the land. Can you feel the allure of these places? The fourth location, Turkestan, exists just beyond the fringes of the Middle East, a land where the unknown lurks in every shadow. And then, we venture north to Russia's mountain range and the vast expanse of Siberia, locations that, to this day, remain shrouded in mystery. Finally, we arrive at Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization, a region that includes modern-day Iraq and Iran, a place where the very essence of humanity began. In the 21st century, the intrigue surrounding the 7 Towers of Satan hasn't faded. If anything, it has intensified. Fringe research organizations and think tanks delve into the lore, convinced that the search for these towers is ongoing, executed by powerful entities striving to unlock their secrets. It's a conspiracy that dances on the edge of reality and fantasy, blurring the lines between history and myth. The implications are staggering. What if these towers do exist? What if they hold answers to questions we've yet to ask? What if they are the key to understanding the very nature of good and evil, light and darkness? Let's take a closer look at one of the most compelling narratives surrounding these towers, particularly in the context of Iraq. In the mid-2000s, a series of bizarre incidents in Iraq led to the loss of lives, drawing the attention of U.S. military officials. Imagine being embedded with an infantry unit in Iraqi Kurdistan, briefed about a mysterious creature that was supposedly hunting locals. A creature described as a ghoul, a class of jinn, tall and menacing, with long arms and legs. The folklore surrounding jinn is rich and varied, but this particular entity was unlike anything the villagers had encountered. It had a taste for human blood, a predator lurking in the shadows, and the locals were terrified. Initially, the U.S. Army Criminal Investigations Division assumed it was a deranged soldier gone AWOL, wreaking havoc on innocent civilians. But as days turned into weeks, the evidence simply didn't add up. The residents were adamant. Something was hunting them, something that defied explanation. Can you imagine the fear that gripped these communities? The terror of not knowing whether you would return home safely after stepping outside. They were afraid to leave their homes even during the day, a stark contrast to the vibrant life that once filled their streets. The case took a turn when one evening, the squad leader reported hearing a shrill, unearthly scream echoing through the air. The sound seemed to emanate from a nearby mountain pass, a haunting reminder of the unknown that loomed over them. It's moments like these that blur the lines between reality and the supernatural. What if this creature was more than just a figment of fear? What if it was a manifestation of the very energies that the seven towers of Satan are said to harbor? As we delve deeper into the lore surrounding the seven towers, we must confront the implications of these beliefs on the communities that have existed for centuries. The Yazidi community, with its rich tapestry of traditions and connections to the jinn, finds itself at the intersection of these narratives. Their understanding of the supernatural, their reverence for the unseen, challenges our perceptions of reality. It invites us to question the boundaries of our understanding and to explore the depths of our fears and beliefs. In a world where science and skepticism often reign supreme, the stories of the seven towers of Satan remind us of the mysteries that still linger in the shadows. They beckon us to explore the unknown, to embrace the contradictions that exist within our beliefs. Whether these towers are real or simply a metaphor for the struggles of humanity, they challenge us to reflect on our place in this vast universe. They remind us that there is still so much we do not understand, and perhaps that's the most profound secret of all. Under the bright light of the full moon, the villagers gathered, their faces pale with fear as they recounted the harrowing screams echoing through the night. They spoke of a thing, a creature that had been feeding on their fear, their very essence. The air was thick with tension as we prepared to investigate the source of the howling. Armed with night vision goggles and high-intensity lights, we ventured into the pass, hearts pounding with a mix of dread and curiosity. But as we entered that eerie silence, we found nothing. No footprints, no signs of struggle, not even the faintest trace of life. It was as if the creature had vanished into thin air, leaving behind only the chilling memory of its presence. This wasn't an isolated incident. No, there were whispers of something more, something lurking just beyond the veil of our understanding. I recalled the soldiers stationed at the perimeter, their eyes wide with disbelief, as they reported seeing a humanoid figure standing about 100 yards away from their camp. It had appeared out of nowhere, fully clothed, yet grotesquely disproportionate. The most unsettling detail? This being emitted no heat signature, blending seamlessly with the night air, as if it were a ghost that had stepped out of a nightmare. As the soldiers approached, they noticed something even more horrifying. The entity seemed to struggle as it attempted to walk, its limbs bending at unnatural angles, bones splintering as if they were mere twigs. Its head jerked around erratically, like a marionette controlled by a careless puppeteer. When they got close enough to feel the weight of the moment, it vanished, leaving them with nothing but confusion and fear. Yet when they returned to camp, it reappeared, haunting them from a distance. A reminder of the unknown that lurked in the shadows. What did these encounters mean? What were we dealing with? The villagers spoke of the seven towers of Satan, a concept that seemed to weave through the fabric of their fears and legends. It was a thread that connected the dots between the supernatural and the tangible, leading us to the Yazidi community, a group steeped in ancient lore and mysticism. In the summer of 2006, in the Sinjar region, home to the Yazidis, a soldier reported an anomaly. His equipment detected a presence approaching from the base of the mountain, yet his eyes could see nothing. This entity vanished as quickly as it had appeared, echoing the earlier encounters, a chilling reminder of the thin line between our world and whatever lies beyond. In the context of these experiences, we find ourselves grappling with the concept of jinn and ghouls, entities that have haunted Islamic folklore for centuries. The Yazidis, in particular, have a rich tapestry of beliefs surrounding these beings, intertwining their spiritual practices with the stories of the supernatural. They speak of the jinn as beings that exist in a parallel dimension, capable of crossing over into our reality. And it's not hard to see how such beliefs could be amplified by the strange occurrences reported in the region. But it doesn't end there. The theories surrounding these phenomena extend beyond folklore. Some secular sources, like exopolitics, suggest that Iraq and its neighboring regions are situated on vast energy portals that connect our reality with other dimensions. This idea may sound like something straight out of a science fiction novel, yet it's a concept that has been explored by thinkers for decades. The French Sufi philosopher Abdul Wahid Yahya, known as René Guénon, proposed that there are 7 locations across the globe, including the Middle East, that hold metaphysical secrets, places where the veil between worlds is particularly thin. So, what do the 7 towers of Satan have to do with all of this? They serve as a metaphorical framework for understanding the supernatural landscape of Mesopotamia, a region rich in history and haunted by its past. The towers may represent gateways, conduits through which these anomalous beings traverse, blurring the lines between our reality and theirs. The tales of distorted humanoids, the chilling encounters with entities that defy the laws of nature, all point to a deeper mystery that beckons us to explore. As we piece together these fragments of lore and experience, we begin to see a pattern emerge. The Yazidi community, with its deep-rooted beliefs in the jinn, stands as a bridge between the ancient and the modern, the known and the unknown. Their stories, intertwined with the soldiers' encounters and the villagers' fears, create a rich tapestry of narrative that speaks to our collective curiosity about the nature of existence itself. In a world where science and spirituality often clash, these stories challenge us to reconsider our perceptions of reality. They invite us to explore the possibility that there are forces at play beyond our comprehension, that the shadows we fear may hold secrets waiting to be uncovered. The 7 towers of Satan, then, become more than just a legend. They transform into a symbol of the mysteries that lie just beyond our reach, urging us to look deeper into the darkness and confront the unknown. As we delve into these tales, we must ask ourselves, what do we truly know about the world around us? Are we prepared to face the entities that dwell in the shadows? Or will we turn away, content to let the mysteries remain unsolved? The choice is ours, but the stories, the experiences, they will continue to echo in the night, waiting for someone brave enough to listen. In the heart of Mesopotamia, where ancient rivers once nourished the cradle of civilization, lies a series of locations shrouded in mystery and foreboding. They are known as the 7 Towers of Satan, each a beacon of negative energy, a vortex where the supernatural seems to bleed into our reality. The very air around these towers crackles with a tension that feels almost palpable, as if the ground itself remembers the weight of the angels that fell from grace, transforming these once sacred sites into something dark and twisted. Now, before we dive deeper, it's essential to understand the cultural context surrounding these towers. In Islamic tradition, angels are the embodiment of purity, incapable of corruption or malevolence. They are the celestial beings who never falter, never stray from the path of righteousness. The notion of angels falling from grace, turning into demonic entities, is a concept that simply does not exist in this worldview. Yet here we are, faced with a narrative that suggests otherwise. It challenges the very foundation of belief, intertwining the sacred with the sinister. The idea that these towers serve as landing points for fallen angels is a compelling one, particularly in the context of the Yazidi community. For centuries, the Yazidis have been misunderstood, often labeled as Satanists, due to their veneration of the peacock angel, Melek Taus. This association, however, is a gross misinterpretation of their beliefs. They do not worship a fallen angel in the way that many might think. Instead, they honor a divine figure that embodies the complexities of creation, a being that navigates the dualities of light and dark. Yet, this nuance gets lost in translation, especially when filtered through the lens of Western occultism. The Yazidis have faced persecution throughout history, particularly in recent times, where they became targets of extremist violence. This tragic fate is rooted in a misunderstanding of their beliefs, fueled by a narrative that paints them as heretical. The irony is that the very concept of the seven towers of Satan has been twisted and manipulated by those who seek to demonize the Yazidis, further entrenching them in a cycle of victimization. But let's step back for a moment and consider the origins of this narrative. The connection between the Yazidis and the occult can be traced back to the early 20th century, notably through the works of H.P. Lovecraft, a figure whose influence on horror and supernatural fiction is undeniable. Lovecraft and his contemporaries took elements of Middle Eastern folklore and reimagined them through a darker lens, crafting tales that blurred the lines between myth and reality. This literary tradition has had lasting impacts, perpetuating stereotypes and fostering a sense of fear surrounding cultures that are often misunderstood. In the 1940s, Heinrich Himmler and the Nazis became captivated by the idea of harnessing dark forces, believing that these towers might grant them access to powers beyond comprehension. Their fascination with the occult led to the collection of thousands of texts on witchcraft and supernatural phenomena, revealing an obsession with tapping into energies that could shift the balance of power on Earth. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? The pursuit of dark knowledge by those who sought to reshape the world in their image, all while ignoring the rich tapestry of beliefs that existed long before their time. Fast forward to March 2016, when a trove of 13,000 occult books was discovered in the National Library of the Czech Republic. These texts, once belonging to Himmler, serve as a stark reminder of the lengths to which some would go to acquire knowledge of the supernatural. They reveal an insatiable thirst for power that transcends the boundaries of morality, a quest that, in many ways, echoes the very essence of the seven towers of Satan. Now, let's circle back to the present. The question remains, are these towers truly haunted? Are they the nexus of supernatural occurrences? Or are they simply a product of folklore and fear? The answer is as elusive as the entities that are said to dwell within their shadows. Some believe that the energy generated by these sites could allow individuals to tap into a singular dark force, a parallel dimension that grants dominion over our world. It's a seductive idea, one that plays into our deepest fears and desires. As we explore these themes, it's crucial to approach them with an open mind, recognizing the complexities of belief systems and the impact of cultural narratives. The Yazidis, the towers, the legends, each is a thread in a larger tapestry, one that weaves together history, spirituality, and the human experience. In the end, whether you view the seven towers of Satan as a sinister reality or a myth born from the depths of human imagination, one thing is clear. They serve as a reminder of the power of belief and the shadows that lurk in the corners of our understanding. They challenge us to confront our fears, to question the narratives we've been told, and to seek the truth that lies beneath the surface. So, the next time you hear whispers of the supernatural, remember the stories of the Yazidis, the fallen angels, and the towers that stand as silent witnesses to humanity's eternal dance with the unknown. Let's take a moment to dive into a topic that's both fascinating and somewhat controversial, one that intertwines culture, history, and the very essence of belief. Imagine a world where shadows dance and whispers of ancient rituals echo through the ages. We're talking about the Yazidis, a community often misrepresented, misunderstood, and shrouded in myths that blur the lines between reality and fiction. Now, if you've ever heard of H.P. Lovecraft, you know he had a knack for weaving tales that straddle the line between horror and the uncanny. In his story, The Horror at Red Hook, he mentions the Kurdish Yazidis, labeling them as the last survivors of Persian devil worshippers. This portrayal, while compelling in a literary sense, raises questions about the accuracy and implications of such narratives. Lovecraft, who made it clear that his works were pure fiction, inadvertently set the stage for a semi-fictional narrative that has persisted to this day. Fast forward to 1927, just months after Lovecraft's chilling tale. and we find William Buller Seabrook, an adventurer and writer, embarking on his travels through Arabia among the Bedouins and Yazidi communities. Seabrook's accounts, while rich in detail, take a sharp turn into the realm of the bizarre. He claims that Yazidis are not just misunderstood religious practitioners, but rather masters of an extensive network of 7 towers that broadcast dark energy across the globe. Yes, you heard that right. 7 towers, stretching from Japan to Iraq, perched atop isolated mountaintops, each one a beacon of arcane energy. Now let's pause for a moment here. When you hear something like this, your instinct might be to raise an eyebrow. Critics have torn apart Seabrook's assertions, dismissing them as nonsense. And can you blame them? The Yazidi culture, rich and vibrant, has no historical or cultural ties to the far reaches of Japan or China, as Seabrook suggests. It's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. According to experts like Virgo Senegal, a lecturer in art history and a scholar of Yazidi culture, the accusations of devil worship are not just exaggerated, they're fundamentally flawed. The Yazidis have a unique interpretation of the Abrahamic creation story. In their belief system, Lucifer isn't the villain we often think of. He's a bridge between humanity and the divine. This perspective challenges the conventional narratives we've been fed, and it's crucial to understand that what might seem like darkness to one culture can be light to another. So why does this matter? Why should we care about the Yazidis and the myths surrounding them? Because these narratives shape perceptions, and perceptions shape reality. The semi-fictional tales spun around the Yazidi community have led to a broader misunderstanding that affects their identity and existence. It's a reminder of how easily misinformation can spread, and how important it is to approach such topics with nuance and respect. But let's not overlook the lingering question about those 7 towers. Are they merely figments of imagination, or is there something more to the idea of paranormal energy in these locations? The supernatural legacy of Iraq is rich with history, folklore, and mystique. The region has been a cradle of civilization, a place where the lines between the natural and the supernatural often blur. As we explore these ideas, it's essential to remember that the world is filled with illusions, both literal and metaphorical. Just like the visual tricks performed by illusionists, what we perceive can be manipulated, twisted, and turned upside down. The art of illusion teaches us to question our perceptions, to look beyond the surface, and to seek the truth hidden within the shadows. In a way, the Yazidi narrative is like a magic trick. On one hand, you have the dazzling performance, the stories of devil worship, the towers that broadcast dark energy, the exoticized culture that fascinates and terrifies. On the other hand, there's the reality, the rich tapestry of beliefs, the struggles, the resilience, and the profound spirituality of the Yazidi people. Engaging with these narratives requires us to be critical thinkers. We must ask ourselves, what is the source of our information? Are we merely spectators, or are we willing to dive deeper into the stories that shape our understanding of others? As we conclude this exploration, let's reflect on the importance of curiosity. Just as illusionists keep their audiences guessing, we too should embrace the wonder of seeking knowledge. The Yazidi community, with its complex history and beliefs, invites us to look beyond the surface, to challenge our assumptions and to appreciate the beauty of diversity. So, the next time you hear a story that seems too strange or too sensational, take a moment to pause and consider the layers beneath. Engage with the narratives, question the myths, and above all, keep your curiosity alive. Because in the end, it's not just about understanding the Yazidis or any other culture. It's about understanding ourselves and the world we inhabit. Let's be the seekers of truth in a landscape filled with illusions. You know, when we dive into the myths of ancient Mesopotamia, it's easy to get lost in the fantastical tales of gods and monsters. But what if I told you that buried within those stories are kernels of truth? Think about it. These myths often reflect the fears and realities of the people who lived back then. The unspeakable horrors they faced, wars, natural disasters, and plagues, are woven into their narratives. It's like they were trying to make sense of a chaotic world through storytelling. So when we explore these ancient tales, we're not just looking at fiction. We're uncovering the raw, unsettling truths of a civilization grappling with its own existence. What do you think? Are these myths mere stories, or are they echoes of real horrors? Sound off in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into history. See you in the next one.